She turned down a stunningly handsome man right in front of her. And instead, she fantasizes daily about marrying the black dragon. But I was truly conceived and born by my mother alone. Yet, with scales on my face, I was seen as a monster. Not only was I disliked and beaten every day, but even my adoptive father secretly threw me into the sea. On the brink of death, I made a wish to the stars. I just wanted a home that would never abandon me. Little did I know, when I opened my eyes, I had arrived in an interstellar world. However, the little monster despised by everyone on Earth was now loved and fought over in this world. At this moment, the little girl was looking around in confusion. But soon, the beastman Bess approached to ask about her situation. "Auntie, my daddy abandoned me. I have no home now." How could anyone abandon a Scale Clan child? Moreover, the girl had bruises from being beaten, clearly showing she had been abused. Furious, Bess immediately took the girl to the police station for a genetic match. She was determined to find out which bastard dared to abandon the girl. The officers were also enraged when they heard. They vowed to catch the scoundrel who abandoned the girl. But when the test results came out, Bess and the officers were stunned. The girl's biological father was actually the Black Dragon Emperor. But His Majesty isn't married, is he? How could he have a daughter? Moreover, it was said the Black Dragon Emperor was an unstable tyrant who had recently gone mad and slaughtered all his relatives. The little girl couldn't understand their argument. She only understood that the father she had never met was a big bad guy. Was she going to be abandoned again like before? Little did she know, her intense fear, the baby's cry for help, instantly reached the hearts of all dragonkind. The entire dragon race was in an uproar. Who dares to bully one of our own? Which bastard is so irresponsible to our little one? No matter whose it is. It definitely can't be His Majesty's. That old shut-in dragon. He doesn't even have a wife. Then whoever finds her gets to keep her as their own. At the same time, the black dragon, lying on his bed of gold coins, suddenly opened his eyes. He heard this cry for help, connected by blood. "My child?" He tried to reach out to comfort this little bundle, but couldn't touch her no matter what. The Black Dragon King had no family left in the world. The few relatives he originally had were all executed by him for rebellion. But now, suddenly, there was a child connected to him by blood. It was impossible to say he didn't care. Suntry, the clerk, who had just walked in, was full of confusion. He actually saw a paternal expression on His Majesty's perpetually cold face. The Black Dragon King Morg stated with certainty, "I have a child lost out there. Send people out immediately to find them and bring them back to me." The thought of the little one not even having a bed of gold coins broke his heart. "Your Majesty, you're not married. How could you have a child when you're always off fighting wars?" Suntry's heart sank with dread. But the Black Dragon King did not agree with her statement. Can't one have offspring without being married or having a partner? It is said that in ancient times, there were people who became pregnant through supernatural conception and gave birth to offspring on their own. "Go check, she must be there." Suntry hesitated to speak. In the end, she reluctantly went to investigate the situation. Meanwhile, after some discussion among everyone, it was decided that Bess would send the little girl to school at the Earth's core. This way, there would be a chance to find out what exactly His Majesty is thinking. If the Emperor, the Black Dragon King, is really a tyrant as the rumors say, no one dares to gamble. What might happen if the little girl encounters a moody tyrant? Besides, having such an adorable little one by my side, I absolutely adore it. Soon after, the little girl was taken onto a spaceship heading to the Earth's core. She stared in amazement at the galaxy outside the window. Her eyes suddenly lit up. Her previously gloomy tone became cheerful. "Auntie Bess, are we going to play?" Looking at Solan's innocent expression, Bess couldn't bear to tell her that she was likely abandoned by the Emperor, the Black Dragon King. "Your father might be a dragon scumbag who could kill you at any moment. Why not live a good life with your auntie instead? Really? Will you like me? Who wouldn't like such an adorable baby? I'll take that as your agreement. The little girl continued to gaze at the cosmic stars outside the window and fell into confusion. Will anyone there like her? She has terrifying scales on her face. But many people here say she is very cute. After being disliked for so long, she was momentarily overwhelmed by others' kindness. She wants to be loved by others. Baby, you are the cutest. They will all like you. Welcome back to your hometown. The little girl recognized it at a glance. It was the little star she had wished upon before. Just as she was about to excitedly call out, the little star took out candy and tossed it into her mouth. Don't let others discover us. Otherwise, someone might capture and dissect me. This is our little secret. The sweet and sour fruit candy flavor melted in the little girl's mouth. It delighted her beyond measure. A star that gives candy is a good star. The little girl likes the good star that granted her wish and gave her candy. She looked around and realized no one nearby could see the little star bouncing around her. This was a star that belonged to her alone. At the same time, she chose to help the star keep its secret. She wants to protect everyone who is good to her. Good baby, let me teach you how to protect yourself. Come and learn the power of the stars with me. The star of unknown origin took on the role of the little girl's teacher automatically, teaching her how to harness her own power. The little girl began to learn with great imitation and sensed the power among the stars converging upon her. She felt she could knock everyone out with one punch. Now, and the world before her eyes became clear. She looked at everyone and noticed golden leaves on everyone's heads. Within 3 meters, she could see the other person's future life. Just like watching TV dramas, the little girl watched curiously for a long time. What is this thing? Little Star explained. It's their fate lines. Under the influence of the power of the stars, you can see their future. You can also try to change their endings. If anyone bullies you, go beat them up. Little Star was especially indulgent toward the little girl. The little girl's small head turned around, looking everywhere, until she looked at Bess. She noticed the golden leaves on her seemed somewhat withered. In the timeline without the little girl, Bess's ending was extremely tragic. Not only did her family go bankrupt, but she was also targeted by Sophina, the favored child of the Earth's core. She was even falsely accused of being a black doctor, causing someone's death. In the end, under the accusations of thousands of people, she jumped from a high building out of guilt. No one even collected her body after death. Such a good person. Why didn't she have a good ending? Who is Sophina? Is she a more adorable and cherished child than me? Bess noticed the little girl's sadness, reached out, and picked her up. Solon, what's wrong? Auntie will protect you. Won't let anyone bully you. The little girl made up her mind, said with a serious tone, still in her baby voice. Bess was deeply moved upon hearing it. Suddenly, I just wanted to snatch the little dragon baby over. What? 7 dragons, 8 dragons. If it's raised by her, then it's her baby. She didn't take the little girl's words to heart. Ha ha ha, wait till you grow up. Protecting people is the responsibility of adults. I'll protect you. What kind of danger could she possibly encounter? Would she need such a young child to protect her? It's rare to come across such an adorable little one. Many people had boarded the ship. From time to time, they came over. The little girl sweet-talked everyone, calling them Big Brother and Big Sister. The cute little child was very likable. She was given plenty of snacks and drinks. Amid laughter and joy, they they continued toward the Earth's core. When the ship stopped midway, quite a few nobles boarded one after another. The atmosphere on the starship instantly became tense. So unlucky to have to share a starship with these lowlifes. The air reeks of wasteland filth. If the starship sent to pick us up hadn't broken down, I wouldn't be here, Bess sneered disdainfully. These nobles from the Earth's core, who throw their weight around everywhere. If they're so disgusted, why are they sharing a starship with us? Just then, the little girl happened to be returning with a piece of cake. As she passed by this group, someone deliberately stuck out a leg to trip her. The little girl went flying, cake and all. Bess, quick-eyed and swift-handed, caught the little girl. She sharply demanded, "What are you doing? Can't you see there's a child here?" An arrogant voice replied. From the thin lips of the woman who intentionally tripped the little girl came the words, "You blind thing almost crashed into me. Being on the same starship as a country bumpkin is just bad luck." Bess shielded the little girl behind her like a protective mother, glaring angrily at this arrogant beastman, ready to attack at any moment. When Bess saw the other's true face clearly, she realized it was someone from her past with unresolved grievances. This rude beastman who tripped the little girl is named Vera. It's said that her ancestors intermarried with the dragon clan, so she believes her bloodline is noble, always looking down on everyone with her nose in the air. Moreover, her only daughter, Sophina, awakened a trace of dragon bloodline, and is dotted on by the dragon clan, who lack young, treating her as one of their own, almost spoiling her into a lawless little princess. But at this moment, the little girl immediately noticed the leaf on Vera and saw her story. This person is Sophina's mother, the one who in the future schemed to bankrupt Bess's family, and also framed Bess for causing someone's death. The little girl puffed out her cheeks and peeked out. "Auntie, she's a big bad egg. Don't play with her. Isn't this Bess? So impressive back in the day. How did you end up reduced to being a doctor on a barren planet now? Without any of your former glory?" Vera, seeing it was Bess, thought of their past grievances, and continued to mock, "Is this your young? So dull and skinny. Not even comparable to a single hair on my adorable Sophina." Back in the day, Vera had always lived under the shadow of the prodigy girl Bess. At the thought of finally being able to outdo Bess, she wanted to continue seeking a sense of validation from the little girl. But when she clearly saw the little girl's face, her heart sank with a thud. Her smug expression faded away. She staggered 2 steps and nearly fell to the ground. Why does this young one's face somewhat resemble His Majesty? Especially these golden, glass-like eyes that shimmer like stars. Vera asked in disbelief, "Is this your young one? How could you? A savage, possibly. But why does her young one also bear some resemblance to His Majesty? Could it be that Bess has some involvement with His Majesty?" But she quickly dismissed the thought. If this young one were a blood relative of His Majesty, she dared not imagine how frenzied those dragon clans, who lack young ones, would become. By then, Sophina would hold no status at all. Bess frowned and hid the little girl behind her back. "It has nothing to do with you. Stop coveting someone else's young one." Not yet knowing His Majesty's intentions, revealing the little girl's true identity would not be a good thing. "Come here, young one. Let me get a good look at whether this face is real or fake." In her anxiety, Vera reached out to grab the little girl, claiming she wanted to inspect, yet her sharp nails were more intent on destroying this face. She would never allow a new young one in the dragon clan to replace her daughter's status. "I won't let a bad aunt like you touch me." The little girl hates this person who tripped her up, the one who caused Bess's death. The little girl feels so wrong. She hates that there are such hateful people bullying us. Unbeknownst to her, the little girl's aggrieved voice once again reached the hearts of the dragon clan. "Who dares to bully the poor little one? A bunch of good-for-nothings. After all this time, still can't even find one little one." Hearing this breaks my heart. I focused my senses. The young one has already reached the Earth's core. Go find her, and at the same time, little star suddenly appeared. Baby, for people you dislike, you can take action. Use the method I just taught you. Just punch her flying away. The little girl understood. She mustered all her strength. Swinging her little fist, she instantly sent Vera flying out, throwing her into a complete sprawl. After hitting, she didn't forget to blow on her little fist. She even made a face at her. You bad auntie. You deserve it. The little girl felt a bit proud inside. She now has the ability to protect herself and Bess. Little Star took out some delicious fruit candy again, secretly stuffing it into the little girl's pocket. Such an amazing baby. Next time, might you more useful things. Meanwhile, Bess looked in shock at the tiny little one. She remembered Vera was considered a fairly powerful beastman. She could actually send someone flying with a punch. Many people nearby looked at the little girl, curious about this young, yet astonishingly powerful little one. At this very moment, the starship signaled that they had reached the center of the Earth. While others crowded around to ask for information, Bess quickly carried the little girl and disembarked from the starship. Meanwhile, Vera scrambled up from the ground, looking disheveled, her vicious gaze fixed on the retreating figures of the little girl and Bess. Damn it, this wretched girl is just as detestable as Bess, Vera thought. She had a feeling that this wretched girl would steal what rightfully belonged to Sophina, just like how Bess had stolen her spotlight before. She couldn't let His Majesty discover this child's existence. It would be best if the little girl died before that could happen. No one was going to take away the favor her daughter Sophina enjoyed among the Dragon clan, so she decided to contact that person to reunite with her clan in the past. The little girl mustered up her courage and told Bess what she had seen. That bad auntie will kill you in the future. Auntie, you have to believe me. I really saw it. Little Star had previously told the little girl. What she sees are all real futures that actually happen to others. Auntie Bess is so good to her. The little girl doesn't want her to die. Bess originally thought the little girl was just frightened. But when she realized the things the little girl was saying, many details matched up. Even family secrets were correct. She realized the seriousness of the matter. At the same time, she asked for more details. After all, the little girl is the daughter of the Black Dragon King. Maybe she really has some magical ability. The little girl recounted the details she saw again. Hearing details she herself hadn't even noticed, Bess's hanging heart finally sank. According to the little girl's account, the family is not far from bankruptcy and being framed. She and the family have entered a death countdown. I won't let you die. Little Star loves to stir up trouble and watch the drama. Just take out everyone who wants to harm you. The top priority. Bess needs to return quickly and discuss this life or death matter with the family. When Bess brought the little girl back to the family, they saw Bess's brother and sister walking towards them excitedly. Seeing Bess return, covered in the dust of travel, they were overjoyed and heartbroken that she had stayed alone on that desolate planet for so long. Soon they discovered the little girl accompanying them was actually a youngling of the Scale tribe. But isn't brother-in-law from the Reindeer tribe? Bess had no time to indulge in alcohol. She revealed everything about their journey and fully disclosed the little girl's prophecies. The two could not believe it was true. This little one was actually His Majesty's offspring, and even prophesied the downfall of our family. Seeing their skepticism, the little girl opened her small mouth and described their tragic fates one by one. Uncle, you are a snow leopard. Thor, the president of the Arms Corporation, was set up, framed for treason and colluding with the enemy, accused of selling weapons to the reorganization, sentenced to death. After death, your body was hung on a pillar of shame and scorned by all. Pretty auntie, you are a big celebrity. Kasha was slandered on a parenting reality show. They said you severely harmed the youngling beloved by the entire galaxy. Sophina was sued in court. After the family went bankrupt, you couldn't afford the compensation for breach of contract, and died miserably on the roadside. With each sentence she spoke, Thor and Cash's expressions grew increasingly grim. Both were utterly shocked. They asked Bess, "Did you tell her our names and professions?" Because everything she said matched perfectly. Bess shook her head and said no. That was the first time she had seen you. Too much of a coincidence is no coincidence. Now, they had no choice but to believe. Their expressions changed dramatically. They investigated the place the little girl mentioned. You never know until you look. But the findings were shocking. The Black Snake family behind Vera had long set their sights on their business. They quickly confronted the Black Snake family that was secretly working against them, removing every possible threat that could lead to their downfall. Vera, who had lost face last time, received an urgent report. She immediately flew into a rage. But she couldn't figure out how they had found out. Furious, she smashed a precious set of jewelry on the ground. Damn it, ever since encountering Bess and that brat last time, things have been going badly. Bess, I really underestimated you. At that moment, an adorable little girl rushed into Vera's arms. The innocent-looking girl said something terrifying. Who made mommy angry? I'll go kill them. Since awakening a trace of dragon bloodline, Sophina had been spoiled and become unruly. Seeing Sophina, who was adored by everyone, Vera's anger subsided a little. But then, she thought of the scaled child on the starship, who bore some resemblance to His Majesty, and her anxiety grew. Moreover, she heard the Dragon Clan was making a big show of searching for some child. She quickly guessed it was almost certainly the scaled child Bess brought back to the Earth's core. If that child returned to the Dragon Clan, her Sophina would become worthless. She would never allow such things to happen. Then Vera held Sophina tightly and said seriously, "Well, your daughter. Soon, you will encounter a cub who will take everything from you. Let me draw it for you. If you see her, you must kill her. Otherwise, she will snatch away everything you currently have. That cub is about your age. Both of you are old enough to go to school. I expect you will meet soon. Mother knows best. How dare some shameless cub try to steal what's mine? Once I see her, I'll bring people to teach her a proper lesson." No matter how furious Vera was, the Bess family, on the contrary, was overjoyed. The little girl's actions had saved their lives. Everyone's fondness for her instantly maxed out. The more they looked, the more adorable she seemed. This cub is our lucky star. Without her, who knows what would have happened to us? Forget about her irresponsible, crazy father who doesn't raise his cub. I unilaterally declare, this little girl is now the cub of our Snow Leopard clan. Hurry and register her in the family records. That way, no one can take her away, no matter which family she's from. Once she's with us, she's our niece. Here are the black cards from your uncles and aunts. Use them as you please. If there's anything you like, just tell us. We'll even buy you a giant castle if you want. The little girl's pockets were stuffed with various black cards and gemstones. As a dragon who loves gold coins and jewels, she couldn't resist such temptation. She even played with them like toys. Uncles and aunts are such good snow leopards. During this time, Bess secretly ran another genetic match for the girl, and discovered that her serum match Interstellar was still their Mad Emperor. The Black Dragon King let out a long sigh. Bess thought deeply about the girl's future for a long time, and finally made a decision after seeing a recent news report. Solon, as a reward for your 6th birthday, it's time for you to go to school. The school-hating girl's cute little face instantly fell. No school. This isn't a reward at all. It's not even as good as the delicious candy little star gave her. Protest invalid. Besides the law that all children over 6 must attend school, Bess had no choice but to send the girl to this geocentric elementary school. The reason is that during the entrance test, the Emperor, the Black Dragon King, will be present in person. The girl pouted her little face. Will they like me? They haven't come to find me for so long. They will like you. When the time comes, I'll tell everyone you're my biological child. To confuse them, and make them come fighting to claim you. Little Star also jumped out to comfort her. If your daddy dares to bully you, I'll help you deal with him when the time comes. Bess changed the girl into a new set of clothes. Just as they were about to drive to Geocentric Elementary, they suddenly noticed two sneaky people on the starship. Uncle, Auntie, are you playing hide and seek? Hahaha, what a coincidence. We were just passing by. You're a CEO, shouldn't you be handling company business? A big celebrity doesn't dare to make an announcement. What are you sneaking over here for? The company has a special assistant to handle a major event like my niece's school enrollment. I still have to go personally. I turned down a variety show. Solan's enrollment is more important. They've naturally come to see Solan as their own young one. All that, Your Majesty nonsense has been thrown to the winds. Bess seriously suspects that the two of them are just here to show off their kid. The private helicopter has been started. The happy family of 4 takes Solan to complete the enrollment procedures. When they arrived, the 13 siblings were stunned. These tests are way harder than the ones they took before. If it really doesn't work out, I'll just donate a library to the school and get her enrolled through special means. While waiting in line, the same age struck up a conversation with the little girl. My name is Xavier. What's your name? I don't think I've ever seen you before. The little girl looked over at the sound of his voice. She saw him through the golden leaves on Xavier's clothes. The adult Sophina had a crush on him. But he was indifferent and was slandered by Sophina. He was stabbed to death on the battlefield by a jealous rival. The little girl thought Xavier was pitiful and decided to share her snacks with him. I'm Solan. Here's a yummy lollipop for you. Xavier took one and put it in his mouth. His surprised expression seemed to say, "This is the first time I've ever eaten candy like this." The two of them started playing together quickly. Suddenly, someone in the crowd gasped. It's Sophina. She's just as cute as she is on the live stream. The little girl turned toward the sound. She noticed Sophina was also looking back at her. There seemed to be an innate sense of opposition between the two. Vera, who was nearby, also spotted the little girl. They immediately lowered their voice and said to Sophina, "That's the runt who's going to take everything from you. Make sure to deal with her harshly later." But Sophina looked dismissive. How could someone so insignificant possibly take what's mine? Mom is being way too cautious. Vera, still uneasy, continued to remind her about this enrollment. His Majesty will be coming during the 3rd test. You must perform well. If His Majesty recognizes you as his goddaughter, you'll become the little princess of the empire. At the same time, the principal announced, the first round of psychic energy testing begins now. You must go up one by one when your name is called and hold the psychic energy detection device. Looking at the students below, he was also unusually excited. Who knew why His Majesty suddenly has the leisure to come this time? It's actually attracted so many talented people eager to show off. Xavier's enrollment level was soon announced. A rare S rank. The little girl immediately looked at him with admiration. Xavier, you're amazing. At the same time, she began to wonder what her own level would be. They say my psychic energy is pretty good. I should probably get a B rank, right? If I can't pass the test, Uncle will have to donate a library. The girl instinctively didn't want to trouble others too much. Xavier also began to comfort her. You can definitely do it. We'll go together when the time comes. I'll protect you. But the girl looked defiant, saying, I should be the one protecting you. I'm really good at fighting. When the time comes, the two of us will become the rulers of the whole school. The little light orb spun around. It was quite disdainful of the school's conditions. Baby, your psychic power is only stronger than all of theirs. The machines here are too outdated. I don't even know if they can detect your highest level. Soon, It was time for the highly anticipated Sophina. Everyone looked at her. Sophina stepped forward proudly. She gripped the machine that detects psychic power. The energy surged upward. It quickly reached S's level. Then it stopped moving. The principal excitedly announced the result. Sophina's psychic power is S's level. A 1 in a million genius. You should know that the next level up is 3S level. That's something only His Majesty from back in the day could achieve. Many people saw this scene and began praising Sophina. As expected of Sophina, you are the best youngling in the Corps. There's no need to watch the rest of the tests. I don't believe anyone can surpass Sophina. Sophina walked down triumphantly. As she passed the girl, she didn't forget to taunt her. They actually eat this kind of candy that only low-class people would eat. The girl was a bit shocked. You haven't eaten candy before, have you? So pitiful. There are actually people who have never tasted delicious candy. Who needs your pity? A lizard from the countryside. Just wait until you fail the test and get kicked out. Meanwhile, the principal continued to call the next name, Solon. The girl heard her name. Amid the cheers and encouragement of the crowd, she walked over. The principal glanced at the girl's file and discovered she was a former outstanding graduate, a young one brought by Bess. He couldn't help but take a few more looks. But then, he was immediately shocked. This young one's golden, glass-like eyes were actually identical to Emperor Morg's. But then he thought about how His Majesty, that old homebody dragon, has remained unmarried to this day. So he quickly dismissed the thought from his mind. Solon stood in front of the testing machine. She gripped the machine as required, channeling all her psychic energy to attack the machine. There was only a loud bang, because it couldn't withstand the little girl's vast, cosmic-level psychic power. The machine nearly exploded on the spot. Her psychic energy skyrocketed to the highest level in 1 second. It seemed as if her power was about to overflow. The principal's eyes instantly widened. This 5 or 6-year-old child was actually his class. And it seemed even higher than that. She almost made the machine burst. The principal was stunned in disbelief. The last class was their mad Emperor Morg. The crowd began to whisper. Everyone was discussing what was up with the girl's psychic energy. Why hasn't it been announced yet? Could it be so low that it couldn't even be measured? Don't embarrass yourself out here. Ha 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 ha. Vera also smugly mocked Bess. Just some lizard picked up from the gutter, after all. How could she compare to my precious, noble daughter? Bess frowned. She let out a roar to warn them. If I hear one more word insulting Solon, I'll tear you to pieces. The principal finally snapped out of it. Then he excitedly announced to everyone, Solon's psychic energy is class 1 that appears only once in tens of thousands of years. The ultimate, invincible, explosive genius. The crowd instantly erupted upon hearing this. Class psychic energy. Is this for real? As expected, it's always someone else's child. Why can't my little one be this smart? Glancing at my own kid, who's still playing in the sand and giggling foolishly, feels like it's time to start a new account. At this moment, Vera and her daughter's faces also fell, revealing a fierce expression. And when the little girl heard others praising her, she also smiled and asked the principal, Grandpa Principal, is Cease very impressive? How impressive is it? The principal was overjoyed to see such a talented and adorable little one. You are the most outstanding little one here. At such a young age, you're an ORC with 3S level spiritual power. Besides His Majesty, you're the only one. As he spoke, looking at the girl's familiar golden, glass-like eyes, he began to doubt again. Is this little one really unrelated to His Majesty? If they are related, leaving such a cute little one to suffer outside. What a terrible father. Emperor Morg, who was on his way to attend the school test, suddenly sneezed. Who's cursing me, scribe? Do you think, my child, might appear in the entrance test? Scribe Suntri remained silent. Earlier, She mentioned that the girl might participate in the entrance test for the Earthcore school. She never expected His Majesty to actually set aside state affairs and come here to try his luck. Since when does a scribe have to help look for a child? Finally, against her better judgment, she said, "There's a 90% chance you might encounter her." Morg immediately showed a satisfied expression. "That's good, on the way." He continued to ponder Longzai's origins. He felt that during his period of madness, his memory seemed to have problems. It seemed he had forgotten many things. Over at the entrance test, the situation had completely changed. A group of people seized the opportunity and surrounded the little girl to cozy up to her. Meanwhile, Sophina, who was originally the center of attention, was left out in the cold. The people who had been surrounding her all went over to the little girl's side. For the first time, she experienced feelings of jealousy and resentment. She stared in the direction of the little girl and sulked. Vera hugged Sophina and whispered in her ear that that little brat is a bad seed. This is how she, step by step, takes everything away from you. You must not let your guard down around her. Mom was right. This little girl is here to steal things from her. I hate her. I will not lose. Mom, no one can beat me in the second test. Soon, the second test began. This test compared cultural literacy. Reciting different ancient incantations could produce different effects. This was also Sophina's strong suit. She had previously studied with an Empire professor specializing in ancient texts and learned many profound ancient passages. Vera also felt that her Sophina had victory in the bag. Spiritual talent is innate, but learning is acquired. That damn girl definitely can't compare to Sophina. At this moment, Bess is indeed a bit worried. Solon used to be a wanderer, suffered abuse, knows nothing about many common things. Not to mention this kind of profound ancient text knowledge. And it's said that this time's questions are beyond the syllabus. I will work hard. The little girl feels a bit troubled. She has never studied interstellar ancient texts. This time, it really feels like she's going to get a 0. When the girl clearly saw the questions, she instead widened her eyes, unbelievingly looked over them several more times. Is this the so-called ancient text? It looks very simple. The so-called beyond the syllabus ancient text is actually Chinese characters. For the girl, it's too easy. In just a few minutes, she filled them out. Bored, she looked around, saw all the examinees anxious and overwhelmed. Even the self-proclaimed genius Sophina, looking at the questions, clearly became nervous. What's going on? Is it that difficult? Time has just started. Can't submit the paper early either. She simply lay on the desk to sleep and catch up on rest, directly slacking off. Her slacking attitude instantly sparked discussions. She wouldn't, right? Giving up the struggle so quickly? After all, no one has perfect mental power. Being excellent doesn't mean having high cultural literacy. Seems like we still have to count on Sophina. Seeing Solon slacking off so much, Sophina finally breathed a sigh of relief in her heart. This round, she must win once. Can't let Solon keep being so arrogant. But as the proctoring professor passed by, the little girl, he was utterly stunned. He accidentally glanced at the girl's test paper. So excited he almost picked up her paper to examine it closely. This little youngster solved things more meticulously than what they had been researching. This is a true genius. When she enrolls, I must apply to be her teacher. The little girl, fast asleep, knew nothing of this. She had a very strange dream. She dreamed of being inside a sealed sphere. Nearby, deafening sounds of battle and screams were everywhere. A few people were discussing. A stillbirth? There's no sign of life at all. Saved us the trouble of doing it ourselves. Good that it's dead. Living would interfere with our plans. Where should we dump this egg? The projectiles are here. If discovered, it could be traced back to us. Throw it into space. Over time, it'll just become junk. No one will find it. That mad dragon might not even remember this after waking up. With a splashing sound, inside the egg that had fallen in an unfamiliar place, there was light. A youngster struggled to crawl out from a golden crack. Her first glimpse of the outside world was the back of a woman. The woman's face was full of reluctance and pain. "I have to go. One day I will return to find you. You must take good care of yourself." The little girl wanted to chase after her, but her short little legs couldn't keep up. At the same time, a pair of hands pulled her back into a quilt made of an eggshell filled with gold coins and clouds. Just as the girl was astonished, she was awakened by a loud, bell-like voice. "Time's up, papers in." She woke up and realized it was all just a dream. What a strange dream. Who was that gentle and kind big sister? How did she get so badly injured? She felt like she had seen that big sister countless times before, but she couldn't remember who she actually was. The little girl, still dazed, walked over to Bess and the others. Bess saw she had slept through the entire round and comforted her, saying participation is what matters. Don't worry too much about winning or losing. Once you finish the entrance exam, we'll go have a big meal. Soon the results came out. Bess took the girl, anxious and uneasy, to check the rankings, but he searched over and over and couldn't find it anywhere. The girl stood on her tiptoes and pointed to the very top spot. "Uncle, my name is right here." Bess was stunned. The girl's name was clearly displayed. In the first place position, Sophina got one question wrong and was relegated to second place. Sophina looked at her second place position and, very indignant, accused the girl of cheating. "You finished as soon as you picked up the pen. Got everything correct. This is cheating." I looked down on the little girl with my nose in the air. "It's just too easy. I finished it in no time." Then the principal also stepped out to speak up for the little girl. "Are you questioning our school's fairness? Just because you couldn't do it doesn't mean others couldn't either. If that's the case, you are not welcome here." Vera saw Sophina being scolded. Protective of her child, she used the emperor's name to pressure them. Even as the principal, you can't cover up for a cheater. Besides, today is the day His Majesty is visiting, and I have a say in front of His Majesty. If this escalates, no one will save face. Admit your mistake now and learn from it. Just retake the exam and redo the rankings, and this matter will be over. Bess didn't indulge her either. "Trying to pressure us with His Majesty? We won't admit to something that never happened." Right at that moment, the crowd grew noisy. The arrival of a person interrupted the tension between them. "Why so lively? It seems I came just in time." The little girl sheltered behind Bess heard. It was her biological father. She looked curiously and nervously at the person who interrupted their conversation. "What's going on? I just arrived and it's so lively. If there's something interesting, why not tell me about it?" It was his first time coming to the school to observe the entrance exam, but he found it chaotic and unpleasant. He wondered if his child would be here. The principal explained everything that happened here, in detail. "Let Morg decide. It's just a small matter. Just check the surveillance footage and we'll know. Who cheated and who slandered will be clear at a glance." But at this moment, Vera was worried that Morg would get involved with the little girl. So she quickly changed the subject. "No need to check the surveillance. Maybe we were mistaken. Let's not delay the Cubs' entrance test." The little girl watched Morg from afar, not daring to approach. She felt this person was very intimidating. Bess also didn't dare to let the little girl rashly appear before Morg. After all, his true intentions were unknown. It was better to focus on the entrance test. The third test was about going to the trial forest to fight monsters and retrieve the delicate sunflowers from the treasure chests. The more sunflowers, the higher the score. Rankings were based on the number of sunflowers. Before it began, Vera secretly slipped Sophina a test tube, or something similar, during the test. If she felt she couldn't outperform Solon, She should find a corner without surveillance and smash it. Someone would once again take away your first place. Sophina was startled, nearly dropping the test tube in her hand. Inside was a fierce and strange beast. At the same time, Xavier approached the little girl to form a team. The little girl agreed without hesitation. Soon after, they also noticed a lonely hamster named Alien. In the end, the three of them walked in together, laughing and chatting. Morg sensed something deep within his bloodline. An unusual stir. His gaze drifted towards the little girl who had just walked in. He couldn't help but look in the direction where she disappeared. Just passed by. Who is that child? She gives me a very familiar feeling. Suntree, could such an adorable child possibly be mine? Those eyes are just too much like his. Your Majesty, thinking about the child again, your child obsession syndrome is acting up. Whenever you see a cute child on the street, you start wondering if it's yours that got lost. If the title, Mad Emperor, also gains the evil reputation of child snatcher, that would be terrible, Your Majesty. I've already reviewed the files of all the children present. This child named Solon is Bess's. Bess and her late husband's child. She just returned from a barren planet not long ago. It's highly unlikely she has any relation to you. Morg was somewhat disappointed. Not her, wrong again? The thought of his child still suffering somewhere out of sight, having to survive all alone, struggling to get by. Morg grew increasingly agitated. A red light flashed in his eyes. Suntree saw that something was wrong. Quickly pulled out a sedative from his bag and injected it into him. Your Majesty, snap out of it. This place is full of children. You can't lose control here. What if you cause a disaster? With the injection of the sedative, the red light in Morg's eyes receded. I lost control. You're right. Before I find her, I must stay normal. I can't let the children find out. His father was already a madman, fast becoming a beast. He wanted to find his child before he lost all reason, to give him the very best the world could offer. Years ago, Morg went to the battlefield to deal with their arch-nemesis, the Aberrants, encountered a highly dangerous, aberrant leader. All his close guards sacrificed themselves. He fought alone, drenched in blood. In the end, he single-handedly exterminated tens of thousands of Aberrants, but was also severely wounded, on the verge of death. After being revived, his memory would occasionally fail, and he contracted the degeneration disease, the greatest fear of all beastmen. Solon knew nothing about this. She was immensely curious about the brand new world. Noticed that many cubs, upon entering, couldn't help but transform into their animal true forms, running around everywhere. She had been an ordinary Earth human for several years, was completely in the dark about this, common knowledge, had no instinct to transform into a dragon cub. The little orb of light heard the distress in her heart. This, as long as you want to. Just think it in your mind, and you can transform into your true form anytime. I'm quite curious about what you actually look like. The little girl stared at the monitor and still didn't want to transform. Her intuition told her that after turning into a little dragon in public, even more people would want to pinch her little cheeks. The treasure-savvy hamster quickly caught the scent of sunflowers, hurried over, soon discovered a treasure chest, opened the chest. An exquisite sunflower lay nestled within red velvet, glistening with a golden light. Exceptionally beautiful, and Wa saw the exquisite sun. Her eyes wildly gleamed with gold. Dragons are creatures that inherently love rare treasures and gold coins. But she was also surprised why there was no monster guarding the treasure chest nearby. Just at that moment, a dark shadow quietly approached Wa and the others. It opened its gaping maw and flew toward her. It was a giant snake ambushing them. Xavier keenly sensed the approaching danger, instantly transformed into a small phoenix, grabbed Solon and Alien with one claw each, dodged the ambush, and Wa felt her collar being grabbed, and she was lifted into the air. This feeling was even more marvelous than riding on a starship. So much fun. Just as she was delighted, a snake tail suddenly whipped toward them. Xavier and Alien were instantly sent flying, seeing them injured. And Hua, considering herself the leader of the trio, shielded them behind her, faced the giant snake dozens of times her size without any fear. These people are under my protection. You are not allowed to harm them, or I'll turn you into snake soup. And Hua, using the fighting method Little Star taught her, gathered the power of the stars in her palm, slapped out, and instantly sent the giant snake flying. Alien's eyes welled up with tears. Leader, I will follow you forever. You're the only one who doesn't look down on me for being a hamster. And you even helped me become stronger. Morg stared at the power used by the little girl, lost in thought. After pondering for a moment, he voiced his doubts to Suntri. This cub's innate skill. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. As soon as Morg spoke, Suntri's heart sank. Gripping a sedative tightly in hand, he quickly stared at him, afraid he might start acting up again. At the same time, he grumbled, Your Majesty, are you thinking this cub's ability is very similar to yours again? Do you think it's your child? If it really comes down to it, after the entrance test is over, I'll secretly pluck a strand of this cub's hair and have it genetically matched with Your Majesty, so you can give up on this demonic idea of yours. Such an adorable cub. How could it really be Your Majesty's child? Within his chaotic memories, Morg found a few fragments. That's not what I meant. Her ability is very unique. It's a distinctive power only the Star Clan of the Cosmos possesses. I feel like I've seen someone use it before somewhere. After a moment of contemplation, Morg added, Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Suntri, you know, my memory still hasn't recovered. The doctors are at a loss with my condition. Morg continued to watch the little girl. They saw her smiling cheerfully, holding Xavier's hand as they walked together. Suddenly feeling extremely irritated, he thought, Isn't that the Marshal's annoying brat? How dare he hold hands with a girl? What kind of behavior is this? Suntri almost rolled her eyes. Your Majesty, they are teammates. They are friends, Morg said, with righteous confidence. We can't do random matchmaking anymore. I have to personally approve everyone. Meanwhile, the girl on this side had gotten a taste of success from Guangxi. She became very enthusiastic about battles, proactively leading her teammates to search for puppet beasts and treasure chests everywhere. They gained a lot along the way. Even when there was danger, they managed to overcome it. But Morg felt he couldn't stand to see any danger befall this young one named Solon. Several times he wanted to step in. His reckless behavior was stopped by the sharp-eyed Suntri, preventing any trouble from occurring. This young one clearly had nothing to do with him. So why couldn't he bear to see her in danger? As time passed, Anhua and Sofina's teams both reached 29 exquisite sunflowers simultaneously, ending in a tie. Only one treasure chest remained on the field. Unwilling to concede, Sofina provoked. I won't let you have it, Solon. I found it first. I clearly found it first. If you disagree, let's fight it out. Winner takes all. During the trial, Anhua had figured out the rules of getting along with ORCs. When in doubt, fight until the opponent submits, then let's battle. If I win, this exquisite sunflower is mine. If I lose, it's yours. Sofina still had a trump card unused, transforming into her beast form to fight. With that, Sofina summoned her proud wyvern beast form, revealing it before everyone. She felt much stronger. Hovering mid-air, arrogantly staring at the motionless Anhua, she asked curiously, Aren't you going to transform into your beast form to fight me? Anhua assessed Sofina's strength and shook her head. No need for someone like you. Sofina felt underestimated. The humiliation made her furious. She instantly charged at Anhua to attack. You'll pay for your arrogance. I'll show you who the most outstanding youngling among us really is. A little ball of light suddenly darted out. Don't be nervous, little one. Use what I taught you. Just enjoy the thrill of battle to the fullest. The girl gathered the power of the stars. The moment Sophina charged forward, the stellar energy shone upon Xavier's beast form, molding a starry phoenix. It smashed toward her. The next instant, Sophina realized she had underestimated her opponent. The moment she collided with them, Sophina felt as if she had been struck by an asteroid. The tremendous impact instantly sent her crashing down onto a distant tree, in a place unnoticed by anyone. Avoiding the moving surveillance cameras, Sophina moved into a blind spot. She shot a hateful glance at the girl who had crushed her, quietly pulled a test tube from her pocket, and threw it. Solon, I won't let you have the glory. The first must belong to me. I can't let mother down. A fierce beast rapidly grew in size. Its roar echoed throughout the entire forest. It lunged madly toward the girl. The girl froze instantly, as if an overwhelming pressure made it hard to breathe. She immediately released the power of the stars, only to find it couldn't harm the beast in the slightest. Terrified, the girl's petite body trembled uncontrollably. At the same time, her subconscious triggered a transformation into her beast form, turning into a small dragon. Unbeknownst to her, the girl's fear had already reached the hearts of all dragonkind. Observing from outside, the Black Dragon King Morg's expression suddenly changed. At the same time, his golden dragon eyes turned crimson, and the aura around him grew terrifying. She is my child. No, she's in danger. The beast sniffed the scent of blood on the little girl. Its eyes gleamed with excitement. No matter who comes today, nothing can stop me from killing her. The little girl thought she was surely going to die today. It's just such a pity. She didn't know if her parents loved her, or if they had ever looked forward to her coming into this world. But just then, she felt herself being lifted by strong, solid arms, tiny and curled up in a warm embrace, as if she had returned to the time inside the dragon egg. The little girl looked up and discovered it was actually Emperor Morg. When Morg arrived, he saw the beast trying to eat the little girl. This heart-wrenching sight, he flew over and scooped her up, summoned a long sword in his hand, and directly sliced off one side of the beast's head. The worry in his eyes could no longer be hidden. Are you okay? So small. This was the first time Morg had held such a young child. Could this be his child? This was the first time for the little girl to be held in the arms of a blood relative. She didn't know what to say for a moment, afraid that if she spoke, this dream would end. She soon fell into a deep sleep due to excessive blood loss. In her daze, she heard voices anxiously calling out to her. There were dragons, there was Auntie Bess, and many people she didn't know, but who were worried about her. It's so nice to have so many people who care about her. She had another strange dream in her slumber. She herself turned into a tiny point of light, as if she were a star, sitting atop the clouds. The intense pain in her body made her cry pitifully. Then, a silver-haired man approached from afar. He crouched down to tend to her wounds, his face full of kindness. Little one, you're hurt. Tell me where you are. I'll come find you and your mother, and I'll settle the score with your father. Before the little girl could answer, Little Star suddenly appeared. Seeing this silver-haired man with the golden glow, it was as if he had seen a huge trouble. He tore open a large rift and threw him out. You are not allowed to approach her. Get out of her mental world. In an instant, this strange man was thrown out, without even having a chance to say a word. The little girl asked Little Star, why? This strange uncle doesn't seem like a bad person. He even helped treat my wounds. Little Star spun around, very displeased with that mysterious man. Baby, from now on, whenever you see this person, hide yourself well. It's best not to let him discover your stellar power. Otherwise, he'll capture you and put you to hard labor. The little girl thought for a moment. Could Little Star be talking about a kidnapper? Seeing that the time was about right, Little Star opened a door, gently pushed her out, letting her consciousness return to her body. It's time to wake up now. If you don't wake up soon, your Auntie Bess is going to cry. The little girl heard that Bess was crying. She hurriedly ran toward the door. Just as she stepped outside, she opened her eyes on the hospital bed. As soon as she woke up, she heard familiar voices outside. So she pressed against the door and started eavesdropping. Thor was howling like a ghost outside the ward, fighting for custody of the little girl. Your Majesty, actually, Solon is my kid. I carried her for 3 years and gave birth to her myself. She has nothing to do with you. Please let her go. An absurd scene was unfolding outside the little girl's hospital room. Thor and Snow Leopard, the two siblings, were putting on a vigorous performance. Because the act was so outrageous, nearby medical staff heard the commotion and poked their heads out to watch the drama. Tears streamed down Thor's face. His ears twitched slightly. He opened his mouth and spouted nonsense, Your Majesty. To be honest, this is actually the offspring of our Snow Leopard family. I carried her for 3 years and gave birth to her. It's just that she happened to mutate. She mutated from a little snow leopard into a little dragon. That seems pretty reasonable, right? Because he was too nervous facing Morg, Thor messed up some of his lines, mistakenly saying he gave birth himself instead of just suring the child, bringing up a medical miracle. Kasha was shocked and confused. Bro, you've lost your mind. You messed up a few simple lines. Does that make any sense? Kasha gritted her teeth and cut in. I can testify. I personally witnessed Solon's birth. When she was just born, she was a little snow leopard. My hands trembled and I dropped her into a coal pile, then she suddenly mutated. Luckily, Bess wasn't on the scene. Otherwise, she would have definitely thrown out these two unreliable brothers and sister. The little girl listened to this absurd conversation. Her small head was filled with big confusion. Isn't Uncle Wool a male snow leopard? What nonsense is he talking here? Morg fell silent for a moment, trying his best to appear kind. Don't worry, no matter what happens, I would never harm Solon. You don't need to be so nervous, so defensive against me. Back then, he only killed some dragons with rebellious intentions. He was misunderstood and labeled as the Mad Emperor, which led these people to protect him in such a clumsy way. The little girl thought to herself, I'm actually quite kind, right? I'll have to find the source of these rumors later and eliminate them. Just at that moment, Bess saw that the little girl was awake. She immediately ran over and picked her up. I'm just glad you're okay. I was so worried. As soon as the little girl saw Bess, she remembered something upsetting. She said, somewhat apologetically, Bess, I originally wanted to buy the sunflower and give it to you. But now it's too late. It'll have to wait for another time. Like magic, Bess pulled out a box of sunflowers from her pocket and gave it to her. It's a souvenir the principal gave you. The little girl opened it and looked, and it turned out to be dozens of sunflower souvenirs. Overjoyed, she gave the yellow sunflower in order to the 3 snow leopard siblings. Morg stared intently at their interaction. A feeling of soreness rose in his heart. So close, yet it felt like they were miles apart. The little girl noticed Morg gazing at her distractedly and hid behind Bess, looking at him curiously, just like when they first met. At the same time, she saw the golden leaf on Morg and saw his original future. It was fine if she didn't look, but looking gave her a shock. Morg would degenerate from an infection caused by the war and gradually turn into a beast that had lost its reason. And so Fina, claiming it was for the Empire's safety, joined forces with others to kill the enraged Morg. She then used Morg's dragon blood to elevate herself to dragon status, becoming the most renowned hero in the Empire. The little girl felt something was off. Her intuition told her there was a big conspiracy hidden behind this. Daddy is so pitiful too. Morg saw the little girl hiding from him and instantly felt heartbroken. Just as he was secretly grieving, the little girl shoved one of her sunflowers into Morg's hand. Don't be sad, this is for you. Be happy, okay? Morg knew he had a fearsome reputation. Many young ones would avoid him when they saw him. Now that the little girl took the initiative to approach him, he felt a warmth in his heart. He was even stunned on the spot. This was the best gift he had ever received. He wanted to keep it and admire it every day. Morg suddenly said to Bess beside him, "Has my child's genetic match result come out?" Just goes to show genetics don't lie. Since the little girl was in critical condition before, she is now safe and sound. This matter should be put on the agenda. Perfect for shutting up those old dragons who want to steal the cub. On the other side, Sophina can't accept the fact that she lost again. Even if I cheat, I still can't beat Mom's favorite. Vera, who is desperate to help her beloved daughter, decides to contact that mysterious person again. You must help me get rid of that little girl. One after another, schemes targeting the little girl are forming. In contrast, the hospital is getting livelier day by day. Xavier and Alien's injuries haven't healed yet, but they already come to play with the little girl. At the same time, there were also many ORCs from the Dragon Clan. They brought gifts to visit the little girl, but their real main intention was to coax the little girl into joining their household registry. These Dragon Clansmen who were secretly undermining others were quickly thrown out by Morg with a dark expression. Can't these Dragon Clansmen just have their own kids if they don't have any? They come every day, coveting my own child. The results of the genetic test soon came out. Your Majesty, this is what you requested. As soon as Suntry got the genetic matching report, he secretly took a peek at it first. Who would have thought that His Majesty, this scumbag, actually really did the thing of abandoning his wife and child outside, leaving them to wander without bringing them back. Seeing the presented genetic matching report, Morg nervously opened and read it. Exactly as he had suspected, the resonance in the bloodline could not be wrong. The little girl was indeed his child. He immediately ran to the little girl's hospital room. At that time, the little girl was sleeping on the hospital bed, dreaming of something very painful, crying in her dream, "Don't abandon me. I'll be a good child." Morg, who had just arrived, felt heartbroken upon hearing these words. "I'm not abandoning you. Have sweet dreams. Good night, little girl." When she woke from her dream, she saw Morg guarding her by her side. Seeing the dragon scales on her body, she curiously reached out to touch them. The inherently vigilant Morg immediately opened his eyes. She was startled and quickly pulled back. "Don't be afraid, I'm your dad, it's okay for me to touch." Morg looked gently at the little girl. His fierce eyes were full of tenderness and anticipation. The relationship between father and daughter began to ease. He explained past events to help her resolve her inner conflicts. "I'm sorry, a few years ago I had an accident. My memory was affected. I forgot many things. That's why you ended up wandering outside all this time. I always knew you were out there. No matter how far the distance, no matter how dangerous, I would have come to find you. Come back and let me take up my responsibility as a father to become your family." The little girl asked him a question she had always been curious about. "Do you like me? Were you looking forward to my birth?" Morg answered seriously. "Of course, I love you. I was always looking forward to your birth." The little girl's long-held doubts were finally answered. She finally gathered the courage to call out the name buried deep in her heart, "Dad." Morg was overjoyed. He was no longer a lone father without a child. The two continued to chat about various things, growing closer emotionally. Morg went on to ask the little girl something that had been on his mind. "Do you remember who your mother is? Logically speaking, where there's a child, there's a mother. The kid is here. So where's the birth mother?" Even Morg felt like a jerk. The little girl shook her head. "I've never seen her. Turns out it was a stillborn. There are still people who want to kill me." Never knew who my parents were. The little girl thought of her strange dream and told Morg. Morg immediately realized the severity of the problem. Some people just never give up their wicked intentions. Meanwhile, in his fragmented memories, he recalled a small fragment, saw a kind white-haired girl. So boring. I came all this way to find you. But every time I come, you catch me. Can't you just let me hug you from behind? Little black dragon. The more Morg tried to recall this familiar face, the more his rationality became chaotic. The little girl saw Morg in pain and was very worried. Wanted to help, but didn't know how. A little star flew out, circled around Morg once, as if deep in thought. Baby, you can try using your star power to soothe him. The little girl's small hand held Morg's palm, channeling all her star power. Morg soon regained clarity. He found it unbelievable. This degeneration syndrome is widely recognized as incurable. No one has ever been able to heal it. Yet he actually saw hope in the little girl. Could this be the reason why someone tried to destroy the dragon egg back then? For her safety, she can't stay with the snow leopard family any longer. At the same time, Morg didn't want to wrong the little girl. He prepared to go all out with the grand event. Let everyone know the true identity of the little girl. During the preparation period, some strange rumors appeared on the internet. Some even suspected the little girl was a spy from the alien beast side. Bess, is it me who brought you trouble? The little girl noticed negative comments had emerged, affecting Bess and the others. Bess handed her an apple. No trouble, I just hate these people. Daring to spread rumors even about an adorable little one like you. Once I find them, I'll tear them to pieces. Thor was joining the online argument on the side, using his domineering CEO superpower. Just wait, I've hired tens of thousands of internet trolls to argue with them. It's my first time being rumored about kinda fresh. Tasha concurs, my fans are arguing alongside me. I do have millions of fans, after all. Not losing even a bit. The little girl fell silent. The snow leopard uncles and aunties are quite energetic. Little Star also got excited. Too bad I can't access the internet right now. Otherwise, I'd also get people to create tens of thousands of accounts to join the fight. The mastermind behind this is Vera and the mysterious figure behind her. They orchestrated this public opinion attack, but they underestimated Morg's protective love for the little girl. I haven't killed in so long. Do they think I can't wield my blade anymore? It's time to deal with these filthy bugs, causing trouble from the damp sewers. Grabbed him out and crushed him to death. Overnight, the entire netizens fell silent. Soon, what the onlookers had been eagerly anticipating finally appeared. The official social media account responsible for the royal family's internal affairs posted a statement that crashed internet several times. Solon is indeed our one and only little princess. Internet exploded into an uproar once again. Many people had varying reactions to the formal recognition of the girl's identity. Morg looked at the horde of people online who wanted to steal the young child. His face cold. Don't they have their own young? Why must they try to snatch mine? Suntri said with a laugh. They adore the little princess. Your Majesty, there is one more matter to report. Then Suntri's expression gradually turned grave. We have captured the rumormongers and found traces leading to the mastermind behind this. Judging by their methods, it more closely resembles the rebellious dragon clan from years ago. The ones who joined forces with the aberrant beasts. They have returned. I fear they are making a comeback to threaten your Majesty and the little princess. Morg said with a cold expression. Increase the guards around Solon. Do not let anyone harm her. Root those people out. This time, I will leave none of them alive. Failed again, failed again. Vera lost her temper with the mysterious figure. Her sharp, acrid mouth opened, and she began to voice her disdain. Why is it that every time it's something related to that girl, you never succeed even once? You keep claiming you can help me, But this is all you're capable of. The mysterious person said. We overlooked one thing. She is no ordinary little dragon. Back then, we underestimated that dragon egg and didn't destroy it completely. The consequences left behind. They realized the girl was that dead egg from back then. Vera and the mysterious person discussed a while longer how to get rid of the girl. They came up with many plans. After she officially enrolls in school, they must make sure she becomes a corpse. Half a month passed quickly. The girl, now healed from her injuries, was finally going to appear in public. Today was the day for an important occasion, the crucial moment to announce the girl's princess status to the world. The girl changed into a beautiful little dress. The adorable little one is freshly presented. The girl looked at her cute self in the mirror. Her eyes lit up. Is this me? Even she thought she was so cute. The palace maids looked at their handiwork, very satisfied. How can the baby be this adorable? This is going to totally charm those people. The ceremony soon began. Before the beast god, Morg personally placed the small crown, symbol of the princess, onto the girl's head, and spoke his blessings for her. May the empire's radiance and glory be with you. Wishing your future path to be bright and splendid. The girl smiled as brilliantly as the sun. Her voice was sweet. Reply to Daddy. You are also the empire's. The audience was utterly charmed by the adorable girl. So cute. Wanna steal her? What kind of sack does the baby like? Quickly say goodbye to your daddy. In the blink of an eye, it was time for Nua to officially start school. She couldn't wait to go to school to find friends to play with. Fortunately, she and her two best friends, Xavier and Alien, were all in the same class. Alien happily waved when she saw Nua coming over. Solon, come here quickly. I secretly brought some snacks. We can sneak a little bite. Besides that, there was also a somewhat unfriendly gaze. It was Sophina and her lackeys. The furious girl looked very unwilling. Quiet. Class is starting. The teacher responsible for teaching psychic abilities, Dolly, began the lesson. Before long, he had the top student, Sophina, give a demonstration. Sophina's special ability is of the natural type, transforming into a draconic beast form, enhancing her combat power, instantly shattering the practice boulder. Sophina glanced at Nua smugly. Provokingly, she felt she still had a chance to defeat Nua. She believed Nua hadn't inherited a single ability from the Emperor, and that this stellar power of hers came from who knows where. Plus, no one could even teach her. She's reached her limit in this lifetime. This was Nua's first formal lesson. This time, she wouldn't follow the path of the little stars. She imitated their manner, focusing her mind on the psychic power within her consciousness. She discovered that besides the most frequently used stellar power, there is still something resembling a weapon on her body. What's going on? Does that mean each person only has one ability? Why is there still one hidden? She blinked her eyes, looked left and right, checked repeatedly. But there are still two abilities, and it's a composite weapon in the shape of a long blade. Is this not a dream? It really exists. The girl used her spiritual power, curiously poked at that weapon. The weapon sensed the girl looking at it, trembling with a mix of melancholy and excitement, greeted her, eager to break free from inside, as if it had been locked away for centuries, weeping behind iron bars. Finally, the wait is over. It no longer has to be imprisoned. Quickly let me out. Let's go fight together. The two abilities are somewhat different. Stellar power is reserved and calm, unexpectedly violent. The strange weapon, however, is more overbearing, violence that sweeps everything away. It can't wait to get out and have a big fight. In short, both are the type to fight at the drop of a hat. The girl thought. Professor Dolly said, each person can only have one type of ability. This confused her for a moment. Is that right? How should she learn this? The girl's strange expression was quickly noticed by everyone. What is the little princess troubled about? Could it be because her spiritual power is different? Is there no one who can teach her? The girl was truly curious about her other ability, so she found a trial iron golem, ready to test its lethality. She reached out and pulled out a life-sized longsword. Everyone was instantly shocked. Wait, hold on. Something's not right. They remembered the girl's ability was to transform into a weapon, right? Where did this longsword come from? The girl swung casually, slicing the iron golem like it was tofu, cut cleanly in half. At the same time, she noticed something special about the longsword. Through willpower, she could change the longsword in her hand into a gun, with starlight force becoming the bullets, combining into a fully loaded firearm. The girl pulled the trigger, aimed at an iron golem. It instantly shattered and exploded. She was overjoyed. So awesome, I love it. After testing it out, she ran over like a curious kid to ask him for answers. Teacher, you said everyone only has one type of mental power. Why do I have two? Professor Dolly fell silent. As the foremost authority in this field, his brain was still crashing at that moment. Can these appear simultaneously? Professor Dolly thought of a possibility and instantly grew tense. Historical records show those who possessed two power systems, without exception, all met an early demise. He urgently asked the little highness, "How are you feeling now? Are you feeling unwell anywhere?" The girl doesn't feel much. He then said that these two forces are like the left and right hands. Can I still use it together? Is there any problem, teacher? She demonstrated once again in front of Professor Dolly. Like a fish in water. Just like playing a game. Dolly watched the little girl's mental energy fluctuations without blinking. Only when he confirmed she was fine did he feel relieved. He couldn't help but exclaim in amazement repeatedly. The little E's mother must also be a remarkable person. Only when mental energies are equally matched would a child inherit both abilities simultaneously, without any rejection occurring. Professor Dolly developed curiosity towards the little girl's never-seen mother. His power is unique to the Star Clan, but that race has even fewer members than the Dragon Tribe, and is very far from our galaxy, never communicated with each other. Sophina, standing to the side, saw the spotlight stolen from her once again. Her face looked as if she had eaten shit. The little girl returned to her seat. She continued learning to use her psychic abilities. Before long, she had already mastered everything she needed to learn today. Bored, she began to daydream. Her hand doodled on the paper with a pen. She imagined the appearance of her mother from her dreams, wanting to draw her. Professor Dolly watched from afar, thinking the little girl was diligently taking notes. He nodded repeatedly with satisfaction. The little princess is so sensible and adorable. Much better than His Majesty, who was a little rascal even as a child. Speaking of which, how could Morg have given birth to such an adorable little baby? Is that reasonable? No matter how she tried, the little girl couldn't draw her mother's likeness. So she quietly lowered her voice and asked the little star drifting around nearby, "Do you know what mommy looks like? Is she like the one in my dreams?" She was deeply impressed by the silver-haired, golden glowing woman from her dream. Her gentle gaze was unforgettable. It closely matched her imagined version of her mother. The little star looked at the little girl's drawing. It remained silent, just flying around incessantly. Finally, it landed on the paper. It flickered once, like a falling star. The little girl was stunned. What does that mean? Does mommy look like this? She looked at her own drawing. A stick figure completely unrecognizable as anyone, rarely lost in thought. She had never seen Little Star, so how could she have? Soon, it was time for ancient literature class. And Hua found a seat and had just sat down, when she noticed a pair of intense eyes staring at her. The instructor turned out to be Professor Ryan. He was the one who proctored the ancient literature test during the entrance exam. He had remembered and was extraordinary talent in ancient literature ever since then. So, using his authoritative status in the field of ancient literature research. He finally succeeded in applying to become Enwa's teacher. Now, I will teach you how to use ancient literature. First, you must learn the pronunciation and use your imagination. Apply it to your own spiritual energy. If successful, you can awaken a new ability. Not long after, a surprised voice suddenly rang out in the classroom. Look at Sophina. She successfully created a new skill. One of Sophina's arms transformed into a beast's claw. She uttered the word, petrified. Her arm instantly turned stone-like. Ordinary weapons cannot easily harm her arm. Professor Ryan was extremely surprised. Little Sophina, you are truly a genius. To master a new ancient text so quickly on your own. Seeing her classmates working so hard, Enwa also enthusiastically began writing and drawing. When Enwa was on Earth, she learned to recognize many characters during her life of upheaval. She also wanted to test if she could use them. Soon, Enwa wrote down the 2 characters for meteor. This is something deeply memorable from her 6 years of life. Professor Ryan pushed the glasses on the bridge of his nose. A meteor, but as far as he knew, meteors weren't aggressive or served any practical purpose. They were more like a romantic notion in astronomy. Very few people studied ancient texts on this subject. It was a meteor. I've seen it before. Very pretty, Professor Ryan encouraged kindly. Then can you show the teacher how it works, no matter what the final outcome is? As teachers, they must encourage the young ones to keep creating. The little girl gathered the power of the stars in her hand. With a silent command, it scattered. Star power, like a meteor, shot across, amid a dazzling and stunning scene. It defeated the practiced steel puppet. Everyone was astonished once more. It actually works. And it's so pretty. Plus, it's an area of effect skill. The young ones all turned to look at Professor Ryan in unison. Each and every one grew curious about this skill. Called meteor, they all wanted to learn this skill. Professor Ryan fell silent for a moment. Don't be so quick to want to learn it. The teacher wants to learn it too. Professor Ryan's gaze toward the little girl grew increasingly intense. He really hadn't misjudged her. The emperor actually had such a clever child. He's a little jealous. Wants to steal her. Sophina's expression grew increasingly unpleasant beside them. Her gaze toward the little girl became more and more hostile. She lowered her voice and challenged the girl fiercely. Why do you always steal my spotlight every time? Are you doing it on purpose? I'm not doing it on purpose. Sophina, you are outstanding. I want to be as outstanding as you. The girl didn't know about Sophina releasing the exotic beast. In the trial forest, she held no hostility toward her. After saying that, she even gave her candy. Here, have some candy. Let's make up. Let's become stronger together. And protect everyone, okay? Sophina acted out of spite, pushed the candy away abruptly. I don't want anything from you. We will always be enemies. The girl felt a little disheartened. Am I really that annoying? Why did she even refuse delicious candy? Little Star wasn't surprised at all. Carried on with his own glorious history. You'll get used to it. Outstanding people are always envied. People don't even have anyone to envy them. Back in the day, thousands of people envied me. The girl was a bit confused. Envied you for being the brightest Little Star? Little Star paused for a moment, unsure how to explain. It's a very long story. I'll slowly tell you my story when we have time in the future. About my thrilling adventures among the stars. Ryan watched as both geniuses, the girl and Sophina, were beaming with joy around him. Then he took out 2 letters of recommendation and handed them over. Do you know about the Ancient Literature Association? What kind of place is the Literature Association? A tutoring class? The girl got the recommendation letter. Instantly found it too hot to handle. Just wanted to throw it back. Then I'd better not take it. Professor Ryan looked at the girl's troubled expression and laughed. It's not a tutoring class. Those two are only a few years old, but they've already managed to develop new ancient text creation skills. It would be best to register with the Ancient Literature Association. If you all permit it, the new ancient texts you've created could also be promoted. The hesitant girl's eyes lit up. Professor Ryan, then I must go. I am willing to contribute to the empire. While Sofina's goal to join the association was completely different. She just wanted to boast about her genius reputation. Their thoughts differed. They went their separate ways again. The girl stayed at school for a while longer, making many professors exclaim she was a genius. It wasn't until the weekend break that she had free time at home. Bored at home, she glanced at that recommendation letter and decided to go check out the Ancient Literature Association for fun. She slipped away quickly and went to find Bess, embarking on an impromptu adventure. Let's go, I have something big to do. Bess happened to be going to the Ancient Literature Association to make a house call for a patient, so accompanied the girl there. And due to safety concerns, the girl hadn't been out on the streets yet, which seemed quite pitiful in Bess's eyes. Morg watched the figures of the little girl and the others quietly departing. He opened the window, ready to jump down and secretly protect them. I'm going out for a bit. Suntri, handle the official duties for now. I'll be back soon. Suntri noticed that Morg was abandoning his duties and preparing to slip away. He frowned, sensing that something was amiss. He rushed over and clung to Morg's leg to stop him from leaving. Your Majesty, what are you doing? Are you trying to dump all the official duties on me alone? Give up on that idea. If this continues, I'll really have to resign. Morg, driven by paternal love, was determined to follow them no matter what. I've decided to secretly protect the little girl by following her. What if someone bullies her? The thought of her being mistreated without my knowledge is unbearable, Your Majesty. We've already dispatched hundreds of undercover bodyguards, hidden nearby. Nothing like that will happen. Suntri tried to dissuade Morg from his various outrageous ideas. Your Majesty, you can't just abandon me like this. She's doing the work of 5 people all by herself. Morg recalled that the culprit behind releasing the exotic beasts in the trial forest still hadn't been caught. Until these hidden threats were eliminated, he couldn't rest easy. Suntri simply couldn't hold him back and could only watch helplessly as Morg left, then resignedly went back to work. The little girl and her companions' disguises were very successful. Along the way, no one detected any issues with the little girl's identity, seeing her only as an adorable little child. The little girl asked somewhat strangely, Auntie Bess, I always feel like many people are secretly watching me. Why is that? Bess looked around. She noticed that quite a few people nearby were in disguise. The bodyguard immediately understood. Maybe it's because you're too cute. They can't help but look at you. Oh, I see. But that uncle is acting strange. There isn't even a single fallen leaf on the ground. What are they sweeping? The bodyguard, exposed on the spot, fell silent. His proud disguise was uncovered so quickly. As expected of the Little Highness, soon, they arrived at the entrance of the Ancient Literature Association. They handed over the little girl's letter of recommendation. Bess received news that a patient was having an episode and needed emergency care. She entrusted the little girl to the hidden bodyguards. Only then did she feel reassured to leave. The little girl ate and drank with Little Star in the waiting room, as happy as can be. They had to wait for the association president to finish his meeting. How boring. Just at that moment, the little girl saw someone arrive at the entrance, a boy a few years older than her. He was holding an old letter of recommendation, hesitating at the door, wanting to enter, but he didn't take a step closer for a long time. The little girl widened her eyes. A big dog, and it's red too. How fun. Little Star followed the little girl's delighted gaze. This is a beastman from the Red Fox tribe. Not a dog, a friend you can say hello to. The more, the better. The little girl had only run a few steps and wanted to go over to greet them warmly. when her sharp eyes noticed a private starship nearby, recklessly plowing through everything, injuring many pedestrians, just as it was about to crash into the Red Fox youth and the little girl. The girl, quick-eyed and swift-handed, transformed her blade into a gun. A new skill meteor shot fired toward the starship. Get away from the danger, quick. The Red Fox youth also sensed the danger. Frowning, his hand turned into sharp claws, and he swiped at the starship. Both struck at the same time, sending that starship flying away. Are you all right? The Red Fox youth was shocked. This girl was so young, yet her strength was unexpectedly impressive. From the wrecked private starship stepped out a dusty gray fox. Youth, how dare you destroy my private starship? This thing is expensive. Can you two paupers even afford to pay for it? The little girl retorted. There are people everywhere here. Why did you crash into them? Many are injured. You're a bad person. The gray fox, beastman, Kyle said defiantly. Who are you to tell me what to do? I'll do whatever I want. This is my turf. This girl had guts, daring to confront him like this. The little girl fumed. I won't allow it. The center of the earth is my territory. I look after everything here, including what her father said. Once she grew up and became strong, protecting the people of the entire empire is her responsibility. This person glanced at the girl, dressed extremely low-key, determined that she had no impressive background in the Earth's core. The backstage talk gradually became more arrogant. Little one, do you know who I am? The vice president of the association is my uncle. If you piss me off, you won't get away with it. The girl looked puzzled. Don't know him? Is he a very important person? Morg gave her many important figures' profiles to memorize. None of these people included the ORC's so-called uncle. He was stunned by the girl's words. Some country bumpkin from who knows where. Little one, the Ancient Literature Association is not a place for you to play. Hurry and have your family take you to the amusement park. The girl waved the letter in her hand. I have a recommendation letter. I came to see what this place is about. Kid stared in disbelief at the girl who wasn't even thigh-high. This was harder for him to accept than being killed. He had been famous since youth, but still couldn't get in. Such a little kid. Actually, Kid must be the president playing favorites. Kyle grew more and more resentful. His expression toward the girl gradually turned hostile. He simply called out his bodyguards. All of you, get them. They need to be taught a lesson. The girl stood with arms akimbo, not scared at all. You brought people? I brought people too. The bodyguards hidden nearby suddenly all swarmed to the girl's side, each one radiating killing intent. What do you want with our young lady? Kyle realized the strength of this group was at least equivalent to a small army. Felt like he had kicked a solid iron plate. When did such a young child appear here? He suddenly remembered even this bumpkin vice president didn't recognize them. So his anxiety quickly subsided. Get them. Show them my power. If anything happens, I'll still handle it. Before long, Kyle and his bodyguards were once again beaten to the ground by the little girl and her group. Kyle was shocked. As the eldest son of the Grey Wolf family, how could he now be unable to defeat a mere few-year-old child? Just at that moment, the internal meeting of the Ancient Literature Association had just adjourned, and a crowd emerged from it. As soon as Kyle saw his uncle, the vice president, his eyes lit up. With his backer now here, he immediately began twisting the story and complaining. Uncle, there are two troublemakers here. You must help drive them out. The little girl made a funny face. So grown up, yet still only knows how to tattle. Shame on you. The bodyguards hinted that it might be better to just take out the vice president, but they felt it would be too bloody in front of the child. So they secretly sent a message to Morg, who was following behind and hadn't arrived yet, asking how to handle it. How dare they bully my child? I'm coming right now to see just how many brave hearts they've eaten. A furious dragon increased its speed, flying this way. The little girl looked curiously at the people coming out of the meeting. Professor Ryan said the association president Blaze is his teacher, a highly respected old man. If you have any problems, you can ask him for help. The scene was a complete mess, making Blaze frown deeply. Who was here, causing trouble? These broken starships and people lying on the ground. What happened? The little girl stepped forward to accuse Kyle, the bad guy. He drove a new starship and hit many people. He even tried to hit me. And this big brother. Blaze's face darkened. Kyle, you've gone mad. How many times have I said it? Your character is not up to standard. No matter how excellent your ancient literature research skills are, I will never let you into the association. Impossible. I watched Kyle grow up. He would never do such things. Although the vice president recognized it was his nephew causing trouble, he didn't think Kyle killing civilians was a problem. Eager to protect his own, he shifted the blame to the little girl without hesitation. They brought so many people. It's hard to say they aren't the ones who committed the crime. You can't condemn Kyle with just one sentence. The little girl suddenly spoke up upon seeing the golden leaf on him. I saw you all killing many people you looked down on. I hate you. President Blaze immediately turned his gaze to the vice president. Over the years, many people invited into the association have vanished without a trace. Do you know what's going on? Nonsense. What does it have to do with me if those people changed their minds and didn't come? It's all because this child doesn't understand anything and is talking nonsense. The vice president never expected that the secret he had hidden for years would be revealed in public. In a fit of rage, he quickly walked towards the little girl, wanting to hit her. Whose child are you? I'd like to see. Who raised such a sharp tongue? An utterly disrespectful child towards elders, quite young, yet already knows how to slander people. The little girl heard such a strange request for the first time, looking at the vice president in confusion. Do you want to see my dad? The little girl remembers many people in the Earth's core are afraid to see her dad. This is the first time she's seen someone so eager to meet him. The vice president thought the little girl was scared. His hand raised high. Nonsense. Scared now that I'm calling for your parent? If he doesn't come, let me teach a lesson to you, this ignorant and reckless child. Suddenly, everyone present changed their expressions, looking in disbelief behind the vice president, as if they had seen a ghost. The vice president thought he just wanted to teach a talkative child a lesson. Why are they so shocked? No need to call, I'm already here. What status do you have to dare discipline my child? The vice president's hand was grabbed, the force almost breaking his hand. From behind came the gritted teeth voice of more imposing and terrifying than usual, saying you want to confront me face to face. Well, then, I heard everything. Who doesn't show favoritism? The soul-stirring pressure emanating from more left the people present stunned for a while, due to being too shocked. For a moment, they all overlooked the two words, my daughter. The vice president was stunned. Your Majesty, why have you come here? These commoners were causing trouble at the door. We will handle it. This trivial matter isn't worth your personal inspection. He was just teaching a cocky youngling a lesson. How did it attract the furious more? The vice president vaguely had a feeling of impending doom. Who are you going to handle? I came to see who wanted to discipline my daughter. Morg's gaze, arrogant as if looking down on the world. The people present were collectively stunned. Soon, everyone realized just who the little girl was. The vice president shot Kyle a look that said he was angry and disappointed that he hadn't lived up to expectations. You causing trouble for me is one thing, but you had to provoke the little girl, the emperor's cherished favorite. Misunderstanding, it's all a misunderstanding. Your Majesty, you must have heard wrong. The vice president hurriedly pretended nothing had happened. This is just a few people joking around. It shouldn't be taken seriously. Morg said, with a cold laugh. Is that so? No, it's not. I am young. But I'm not a fool. How could I see it wrong? The little girl pouted and peeked her head out from behind Morg. Continued to point out the culprit. He suddenly charged at us in his private starship, trying to crash into and kill us all. And he knocked down pedestrians too. The moment he heard that he almost hit the little girl, Morg flew into a rage. He mercilessly sentenced Kyle to death, killing someone right on the street, and intentionally harming royalty. You're dead. And you, the vice president, isn't your mouth really good at yapping? Go yap at your grandma. You're dead, too. After the matter was resolved, Shakya looked at the little girl curiously. So you're the Little Highness. Thank you for speaking up for me today, Your Highness. The little girl smiled brightly. No need to thank me, no need. Let's be friends. Morg always felt that this red fox teenager looked somewhat familiar. So he walked over, puzzled. Who are you? I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. Strange, I shouldn't have seen you before. This face does seem a bit familiar. But he couldn't find any trace of it in his memory. Damn, degeneration syndrome has affected his life too much. President Blaze thought. That Morg was just worried about the little girl's safety. So he patiently helped explain. Your Majesty, he is a red fox beastman, Chigia. A few years ago, the Star Path was illegally selling cubs. He was one of the lucky ones who managed to escape. You once participated in the rescue operation. Maybe you saw him then. The little girl suddenly said. Wandering? That sounds a lot like how I used to be. The little girl's careless words struck a pang of conscience in Morg. He looked at the little girl's family with complex emotions. Seeing that Morg didn't look well, he left his contact information for the little girl, then went inside the association to register. What followed was a demonstration of his own skills. Blaze said, with a laugh. Little Highness, could you please demonstrate your new skill for us? Our records indicate it's an area of effect skill. They've also prepared many iron golems. The little girl demonstrated to everyone the meteor skill she had figured out on her own. Just like her performance in class, it instantly annihilated them. Everyone present was shocked. What was that thing that just flew by? So many iron golems were wiped out. In an instant, as expected of my child, Brother Luo felt a little proud about this. When you grow up, you can join me on the battlefield. The final result was announced. The meteor skill was rated as an ultimate skill. This was the first ultimate skill in the Antique Research Association in nearly 5 years. As a new member of the association, the little girl could choose one unpublished ancient text skill, and the first one that caught her eye was a clairvoyance skill. This novel experience sent the little girl's consciousness darting wildly through the cosmos. As if she were traveling alone among the stars, she giggled with joy. But suddenly, vast and immense consciousness detected the little girl's presence and sharply turned its gaze toward her. Morg detected a psychosynergy approaching the little girl. He is a detestable person, but not an enemy. But before there was time to stop it, that psychic energy pulled the little girl into the world of the consciousness sea. Why am I here again? Am I dreaming again? The little girl once again transformed into a point of light and arrived amidst the sea of clouds in her dream. She came here last time when she was injured. Suddenly, the silver-haired person she saw in her dream last time appeared before her once more. His tone was somewhat agitated. I've finally found you again. Can you tell me where you are now? I want to bring you back. The moment the little girl heard about being taken away, alarm bells rang loudly in her heart. I won't tell you. I'm not going with you. Child traffickers like to talk just like you do. First, tell me your name. So cautious. Just like your mother. My name is Shin Minute. Has your mother never mentioned my existence to you? The man saw the little girl, and that woman. with identical cautious expressions. His heart softened a bit. I'm not a bad person. I am your family. This was the first time the little girl heard someone else talk about her mother. She became excited. Uncle, do you know my mom? Is it true? Don't believe me? Shin Min reached out to touch the little girl. Their spiritual energies touched and immediately began to resonate. Now you should believe me, right? This cannot be faked. Two streams of stellar power that had crossed the interstellar space were overjoyed to meet. They were engaging in the unique greeting of the stellar race. The little girl's tense and anxious emotions were quickly soothed. Shin Min, however, was secretly amazed. You learned how to use stellar power at such a young age? And you use it quite well. Who taught you? He was anxious to find the young one and bring her back. Not only to make it easier to find that woman's whereabouts, but also to teach the young one how to use stellar power. Clan members who possess terrifying power, but do not receive timely guidance, can easily be killed by the power backfiring, or even be targeted by those with ill intentions. That's why he was so desperate to find the little girl. But he never expected that someone had been teaching her all along. The little girl remembered her promise with Little Star, and chose to keep her mouth shut. Almost instantly, the little girl knew that this person before her, this strange uncle who looked like he was trying to kidnap a child, was indeed her family. And what's more, he was someone connected to her mother. The little girl curiously moved closer. Uncle, who are you to me and my mom? I've never seen her since I was born. Never seen her? Shin Mayan felt a sense of foreboding. They would never abandon a child without reason. Unless something extremely urgent had happened. Something happened to her. Considering this possibility, Shin Mayan's heart sank. He was slowly closing the distance between himself and the little girl. Of course, no one knows you better than I do. I am your mother's. Just as Shin Mayan was about to say it, another overbearing and powerful mental force intruded. Who are you? What are you trying to do to my child's mind? The little girl saw her father had arrived and was overjoyed. Daddy, you. Why are you here? This uncle says he knows, Mom. Morg didn't speak, considering whether what Shin Mayan said was true or false. Shin Mayan was interrupted mid-sentence and instantly became furious. The moment he saw him, he couldn't help but start to taunt. It's you, black lizard. You stole Star Scar from me. Where have you hidden her? I've searched for her all these years and still couldn't find her. Your children have both gotten into trouble. She must still be alive. Who is Bing Hen? Tell me the person before my eyes. And the girl from his fragmented memories seems somewhat similar. Now she's mocking him sarcastically, and even knows him and his partner. Morg really wants to know the truth. Even she has been forgotten. You still have the nerve to ask me. I should have stopped you both back then. The blonde man didn't know what had happened to Morg. The moment he heard that, he had already forgotten. He instantly flew into a rage, looking at Morg like he was the world's biggest scumbag. Wished he could beat him to death on the spot. Come to me, baby. Come live a good life with me. With your dad. There's no promising future. The girl fell silent. This is how I always talk to kids. Is Sum Han the mom's name? In your dreams, thinking you can take my child away with just a few words. Morg disagrees. No matter who it is, they can't take Solon away. Sum Lin flared up in anger, saying no matter what, I'm taking her away today. If you don't back off, I'll kill you first. Tensions rose between the two, and they started fighting at the slightest disagreement. Just then, Little